All right. Hello. I'm Mr. Whyzguy. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you'll stay a while. I like to game a lot, so take everything with a grain of salt. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be watching these guys. I'm going to have a little mini introduction on these guys.
I am a leftist commentator. I do politics, comedy from a dumpster fire perspective, and I have opinions, and sometimes people like to hear those opinions, and then they tune in to listen to them.
My name's Seamus Coughlin. I make cartoons. We call them
British.
Freedom Tunes. And he's British?
Whoa.
Is that? Why you always got to take it to an ethnic place with me, man? I make cartoons. I have a YouTube channel called Freedom Tunes. I'm also a podcaster.
I am the Moon Lord.
He knows.
No longer Weed Lord. I have evolved. I have become
He knows.
one with the essence of the vibration and the fabric of reality.
And I am Surge.com as always, guys. Let's get to it.
I hope you guys enjoy these very short clips. Now on to the show.
Crime and murder on the subway has been increasing, or has at least been apparent in the press, but I don't see you caring about it at all until it's the aggressor who gets killed.
No one, I think, on the left is going to defend this stat that you're pulling.
Then
up.
why
Let
put a
people
guy
be
in
pushed
prison for finally saying stop killing people?
This is like, Tim, if I approached you today and I was like, hey, do you know what goes on in Rikers Island? Have any of you done a show on what happens in Rikers Island? How they hold people in Rikers Island? Do you know what?
Not Rikers Island specifically, but we talk about prison reform all the time.
Okay,
and how
okay. Do you know
strict
about
it is.
bail reform and the fact that people die in Rikers Island waiting to have their day in court because they
Yes.
can't afford it?
And we've talked about it.
And you've
But I
done
don't-
entire shows on that. And
but I
you've
don't-
talked about how people literally die in prison while they're waiting for that shit.
We talked
That's
about
terrible.
Yeah, okay, so we actually talked about one guy who got wrongly arrested, lost his job, was kicked out of his apartment, went to Rikers for 3 months, only to be released and then told, sorry, there's nothing you can do about it. The city owes him nothing because they considered the prosecution not to be malicious. But this is the problem, man. Like, we talk about stuff like this all the time.
But the example you just gave me was not me talking about the systemic problem of people who are poor being in
That's
Rikers
quite
Island
literally what it was.
before they get to trial. They die before they're not released. You just gave me a story of someone who was released
I'm
prior
giving
to
you an
that.
example of a specific show we've actually talked about someone wrongly held and had their life destroyed.
Okay.
Now, of course, we can go on further and say yes, people have died. Yes,
They
the
have.
system is corrupt. And my point is this: when we talk about stuff like this, like wow, in October we talked about 25 people being pushed in front of train cars. You guys just shit all over us and ignore these problems. Then finally, when three
No one
guys
is ignoring this. I told you, no one's on the other side of this. No one is pro push people onto trains.
Where's your protest? Where's your protest?
Where's my protest?
Yeah, where's your protest?
Where's your Rikers protest?
We had it on the show, but you don't watch
did a
the
protest.
show.
You did an actual protest. You guys stood up and then walked to the streets, or
we
what?
don't go on the streets ever,
But
right?
I'm not blaming you for not talking about that, Tim, because this is the problem of like you are judging someone based on absence, based on your absence of caring about something. Why haven't you talked about this, Lance? The fact that you haven't talked about this
Absence
means that
of
you don't
caring?
care about
What
it.
do you
That's
mean?
not true, though.
That's not what
but
I
that's
said.
the implication of what you were saying
no.
right now.
My implication is, instead of helping us deal with this when we talk about it, you make up garbage about us and then post nonsense on the internet.
When have I brought up garbage about people pushing people into trains? This is the most random
I'm not
example.
talking about you saying, I'm saying you don't talk about it, right? I'm not criticizing you for not talking about it. I'm saying finally, when there are people who are like, we've had 25 people pushed in front of trains, we've had 2 of them killed, I'm not gonna let this person hurt somebody, it's y'all saying that person should go to prison. It's like, how is that solving the problem? You guys are making it worse. Your protests, your support for the criminals make this worse.
So our solution to this, if you're asking, when you're saying
Our solution to this, huh?
Our solution to a lot of this is that
You're speaking in support of the criminal, so I'm saying you.
Okay, so I am saying that the solution to a lot of this would be investing very heavily in things like healthcare, like getting and making sure that people have access to it and not cutting the restrictions, like allowing people to have access to healthcare, not as a requirement based on how much money they have, based on their income, but allowing them to get the care they need. That would have gone a long way to preventing a problem like this and future problems that are going to happen. I have no idea what's going on with the 25 people who've been pushed in front of trains. If it happens to be because people have mental illness, this is a tangible solution that we could work towards. This is something that are you against that idea about investing heavily into mental health care, public health care? Well, then there you go.
So
That's a much better line.
So here's
right?
my issue. My issue is when this story came out in October, we talked about it. And we said, why is this happening? What are the solutions? What are the problems? When this story comes out now, you, completely ignorant of what's been going on in New York, side with the criminal. And so people like me are flabbergasted.
Tim's a little mad.
We've been focused on
He's framing Tim.
the issue of crime, the issue of mental health, the entire time going back several years. And this is why I left New York, because 2 cops got murdered outside of my apartment. And then what do we hear? protesters in the street defending the criminals.
You keep saying criminal. I have a problem with criminalizing people who are homeless or people who are poor or people who are mentally ill, and then suddenly
I'm not saying
determining them.
So he basically, he has a problem with criminalizing people that commit crimes, because that's what happened. That is literally what happened.
I'm not saying he's a criminal for being poor. I'm saying he's a criminal because he threatened people with harm.
Exactly.
Like incitement to violence is a crime, just like AOC says, right?
I really want to see the start of this video footage. I want to see the moment where he was threatening the very people who tried to take him down.
Look, either you accept that the witnesses, the media, and the police say this is what happened, or we can agree no one has any idea, so there's no point in even talking about it.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed whatever I just posted back there, because this is an automated thing that I just do in editing. And yeah, but I'm sure it was very informative. And leave a comment. You have to leave a comment, because if you don't leave a comment, you came here and then you left without saying anything. That is a little bit disrespectful. So leave a comment. Just throw it down there. Your thoughts, because like this is the channel where you think. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye now.